What's up, guys? Back here with the next part of this video series that I've been working on, doing the entire CD collection. So we are going to be talking about F and G from my atmospheric and epic black metal collection. It was originally going to be more, but it wound up being a huge stack that I kind of wasn't expecting to be so huge. So let's get down to it. The tunes in the background that just drove my wife out of the living room is Last Days of Humanity. Some nasty, nasty gore grind. I have no clue why, but I just randomly had a hankering for it. It's not usually something that happens to me, but whatever. Anyway, we're going to start off with the band Falkenbach from Germany. This is the debut album in their Hidden Riki Fara. I don't know. I have no idea how to pronounce that. This is the debut album from Falkenbach. It's a really good record, man. It's a lot more black metal than they were later than they would come to be. It's a pretty, it's pretty run-of-the-mill for pagan metal, I guess you would call it, pagan black metal. But it's really good. You get a lot of those Viking era Bathory isms that you get in the latter half of their career, with records like this one being, no clue how to pronounce that. It's a classic. Love it. I absolutely love this band, but I don't speak German, I believe is what the language is there. Maybe it's Old Norse. I really have not a clue in the world. This one came out in 1998 on Napalm Records. This debut came out in, I don't know exactly. I don't remember the year. And then I have one more from Falkenbach. It would be this one. Also, no dice on the name of the album. This one's from 2003. It's great. Pretty much this era of Falkenbach, basically after this one and on, are all of a very similar style. And this kind of mid-era 2000s is, I think, pretty much the classic era of Falkenbach, as far as I'm concerned. Great, epic, pagan, folky, black, Viking, whatever metal you want to call it. Next, I got several from one of my favorite bands. This is Falls of Rauros. This is the album Hail, Wind, and Hewn Oak. This is the debut album. My least favorite of the Falls of Rauros catalog, if I do say so myself. This is a Binder in Norvis, a repress. I believe I picked this up when I saw this band live, but it's not signed, so I'm not certain, because I purchased a bunch of stuff at that show, but I don't think I got any of this signed from Falls of Rauros, which is kind of odd, because they got a bunch of stuff signed from Austin from Panopticon. But that's a really, run-of-the-mill black metal album, nothing particularly special. But this one, The Light That Dwells in Rotten Wood, this is amazing. This is like some of the greatest American black metal of all time. Beautiful, beautiful, atmospheric, post-rock infused black metal, and not like hipster post-rock. Yeah, see, okay, so I must have gotten that CD at a previous date, or I just didn't see it. There's a signature from the guitar player. This whole album's amazing. I mean, Awaiting the Fire or Flood That Awakens It, Silence, The Cormorants Shiver on the Rocks. Absolutely, absolutely breathtakingly stellar. Perfect album. They had two perfect albums in my book, and they're just, I don't know, man. This band means a lot to me. I have a lot of nostalgia for Falls of Rauros, which is apparently a really big thing the older I seem to get, which I guess is the normal case of things. But, I'm only in my 20s, so I wouldn't think it would be such a powerful thing, but whatever. This is the other perfect album, Believe in No Coming Shore. It's kind of a toss-up which one's my favorite. I believe I usually would say The Light That Dwells in Rotten Wood is my favorite, but this one's a close second, if not tied. Another signature. I just really, really love this band. This everything that I said about the previous record pretty much applies to this one as well. And the newest one, there's two I don't have. I don't have Vigilance Perennial, and then I don't have the one that came right after that, but I do have this one, Key to a Vanishing Future. new one from last year. Didn't get a lot of press for whatever reason that may be. I don't really know what that problem would be, but Eisenwald put this out, which is, I don't really know why it is that they're on Eisenwald now, but I really do like this album a lot. They're kind of embracing a lot more progressive leanings, a lot more on the, you know, enslaved spectrum as opposed to their post-rocky atmospheric stuff, but there's still tinges of it here and there. Really good record. Next, Ancient Sorrow by Fen. This is a UK-based black metal band. This is out on Northern Silence Productions as well. This is a pretty early Northern Silence release, I think. NSP 58058. So I guess it couldn't have been too early, but yeah, it's a nice little EP, their debut. Oof. Again, stupid teeth on these jewel cases. That's why I need to change them more. Killer stuff. And one more from Fen. This is Epoch. I haven't spent much time with this one, especially compared to that other one, but Fen's a really cool band. There's nothing crazy about them. I hear them get compared to Agalloch pretty regularly. Not picking up on a lot of that, but it's good atmospheric black metal with that kind of UK feel. Alright, this is one that placed relatively high a year or two ago when this came out. Firenholt by the Waters of Awakening. This is out on Nature Mocked Productions. Pretty album cover. I don't remember where I found this. I think I found it on YouTube, and then I wound up buying it off of Bandcamp, and it took a little while to get here because Nature Mocked is from Europe, but that's no biggies. This is very summoning-ish black metal with, I don't know, it has a little bit more of the Moon and Azure Shadow style of big bombastic synthesizers that are like not necessarily symphonic, but teetering, I would say. I don't know. Once you start getting into those enormous layers, I feel like if you're going to call stuff like Emperor symphonic, it's hard not to call something like this symphonic, even though they don't really sound all that much alike at all. Alright, this is a split with a band called Famore and Vieter. Scott from No Solution just sent me this one, and it just happened to so be in this section of my CDs. It's a great little split of two Canadian bands. I don't know, man. This is just kind of good pagan-y black metal tinges of, you know, your 90s, late 90s, like 95, 96 style of black metal from Sweden, and maybe some Eastern European influence as well. I don't know. Really good stuff. I would definitely say it's more along the Eastern European style as opposed to the Swedish style. Next, Songs of Morning and Dusk by Forlorn Citadel. This is a compilation from Forlorn Citadel. This is an American dungeon synth epic black metal band. Really pretty artwork. So there's two things on here. There's Dusk and then Songs of Morning. And Dusk is a dungeon synth demo, and Songs of Morning is kind of what they would come to be. You know, you're really summoning-ish dungeon synth-y black metal. It's good, really raw. The dungeon synth stuff is cool. There's no real vocals from what I remember. It's been a little while since I heard this. A demo comp like this, as opposed to being like, you know, me buying like the Vader Necrolust demo or something, I'd be buying that mostly for like, I need to be listening to this all the time. And this is more like a thing to have as a relic. Because, you know, you're not always going to want to listen to dungeon synth and instrumental epic black metal. I don't know. But this is their full-length Ashen Dirge of Kingslain by Forlorn Citadel. Let's show this guy some more. If I can get it out of its poly sleeve, which I'm struggling with. Really nice digipack. I picked this up off of a dude on Discogs, I think. Once again, out on Northern Silence. This is pretty much to a T summoning worship. Like, there's not really much special compared to anything else in the style about this band other than the fact that it's just quality, man. I really like this project quite a bit. All right, next, Triggerous with the album Wind. This is a German black metal band, I believe. And this is one of those kind of nostalgic albums for me that me and my buddies would be playing when we would go, you know, on walks in the woods and stuff like that. We'd play this in the car and then walk around in the woods, chit chat, yammer, or whatever. And it just kind of holds a good place for me in that it's kind of pagan black metal, atmospheric black metal, somewhere in there. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can kind of picture what I'm talking about there. It's quicker, but it's still pretty majestic. It's a great record. It's interesting when you see like a farm field on an album cover. Next, Floth Eye. Great melodic atmospheric black metal from Scotland. This is a side project of Andy from Sayor. Really pretty. I got into this full length, I don't know, I think I got into it the year it came out, which is 2016. I found it, never got around to buying it because I just really didn't order anything in 2016, but I was just floored about it, and it kind of stayed collectively in my brain for however long. And then eventually, recently, I actually just found a copy on Discogs that I had, that I would consider to be in my price range and worth buying. Because, you know, no matter how much I love a record, I'm not paying 45 bucks for a record every time I want it, you know. Great record. And Floth I, the second Floth album from 2021. Cool album cover, kind of a little bit more of a dissection style record. Volcandra comes to mind. All these kind of influences from the more melodic side of black metal. There's the hype sticker. I do keep my hype stickers because I'm a dweeb. I didn't like this record quite as much as I liked Floth 1, but this is a great record nonetheless. This one got out on Season of Mist, so good for you, Andy. This one came out on Neopa, something like that. I don't really know. Anyway, next, great little side project as well. Ashen Eidolon by Gallowbraid. This right here, dude. Gotta love it. This is a side project of, is it Mortal Sword or Shield Anvil? I believe it's Shield Anvil from Caladan Brood. He's also the vocalist in Visigoth. Really gorgeous photo on the inside there. This is really pretty atmospheric black metal with tons and tons of melody out of Northern Silence again. And I don't know about y'all, but when you hear this record, it kind of reminds me a bit of Obsequiae, which I have no idea who was listening to who, if that had anything to do with it whatsoever, or if I'm just hearing things. But I always, you know, I kind of think in a similar mind space. There's like this medieval tendency to this that's just really pretty and really nice and melodic. Really nice riffs all the time. Great record. Alright, we're going to be in a little bit of sketch for a minute. This is Goatmoon, Death Before Dishonor. It's just Goatmoon being a super raw, old school black metal band. Kind of whatever here and there. This isn't the greatest stuff as far as I'm concerned, but it gets a lot better. Here's Finnish Steelstorm, classic in the Finnish black metal sound. This is when it starts getting really folky and really jumpy and you know, more fun sounding. This is kind of where it starts coming to a head. Varjat. Not really entirely sure how to pronounce it, but this is like where I came in to Goatmoon, the first one that I heard. I think. I don't really remember. It's definitely the first one I remember hearing about. I haven't spent as much time with it as some of the other ones, like I have this one, which is Voitotai Valhalla. This is my favorite Goatmoon album. I still am not particularly certain what's on the cover there, because like at first I just thought it was like a monster, but it has a spear and a shield, and It kind of looks like a Viking. Oh, I never noticed all the goats in the top there. I never really sat there and stared at this. I really have no idea what's going on. He has a bunch of Rams behind him and whatever it is. It's a great record. Some really cool Burzum influences, jumpy folk parts, a lot of energy. Then Stella Polaris. A great record. The last song is kind of goofy. It's this sort of hair metal, weird sounding traditional metal mixture into his folky black metal. It's a cool record. Then we got this one, which is Silver Serpent. This is a full-on dungeon synth EP that he just did randomly, I guess. I didn't know this was going to come out, and it came out, and I saw this photo, and I was like, wow. Yeah, the green-faced orange wizard. Very interesting photo. But this is a really well done dungeon synth EP, man. I mean, it's a half an hour. It goes quick. It's kind of ambient. It's not as you know, it doesn't have like a grandiose sound to it. It's really ambient. And the last Goat Moon is What Once Was Shall Be Again, which is the newest one from this year. One of the only albums that I've purchased from this year so far. More folky black metal. There's nothing to say about that. Alright then, here we are. Drunmatan by Graveland, demo. I guess we're sticking with the, some people call this band sketch. I don't know. I know Capricornus is part of it, but I'm not here for such discourse. It's a demo. It's kind of hard to listen to, and it's kind of whatever. It's not the coolest thing in the world, but Graveland. And here's In the Glare of Burning Churches by Graveland. There's a cover. Slipcase with the original cover on it. Or not necessarily the original cover, but like, you know, more of the cover they're more known for, I would say. It's just another, you know, ooh. Man, I have broken case again. What's up with this? It's the more known cover. They don't have the original that I know of. It's like a grainy photo with a steeple and all that stuff. But yeah, this is just a Polish black metal demo. That's nothing particularly crazy. I don't feel like fighting with this right now. I'll deal with this in a minute. Alright, here, Celtic Winter. I really don't feel like taking these out of the sleeves because there's a bunch of them like this. Celtic Winter, as far as I'm concerned, this is the era of Graveland I like the most, and they might chronologically be a little bit messed up because this discography is gargantuan, but this is a really listenable folky black metal album. I mean, I find this to be very, very entertaining. It's just Polish black metal, dude. What can I say? Sharpening the Thousand Swords here. This is like a rehearsal demo of them doing the Thousand Swords sessions, and it's all instrumental, so I really don't necessarily feel like I needed all that much, but I got this from, I think, Classy Metal, so that's interesting. It's always nice to see the dudes in the BC sharing stuff. This is Following the Voice of Blood. Another one of these slipcase reissues that's really, really well put together. This is out on Warheart. Classic Graveland. This is Immortal Pride, another classic Graveland album. Now that I'm looking at this, I think this and Following the Voice of Blood predate Celtic Winter. I don't remember. You know, dude, you've heard it. You've definitely heard it. Then this is Spravo Stali. This is, I think, a really underrated Graveland album. Really killer. And this one, I really haven't spent much time with. Oof, this is testing my Polish pronunciation. Pamięć I Pieszczeniacie. Still working on it. Those are big words that I haven't seen before. I really haven't spent much time with this album, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. There's a couple of these that I just need to revisit, you know. I mean, this is a big catalog, and sometimes, you know, I don't listen to Grapeline every day of the week, so, you know, I go back and I want to hear one of like the 3 main albums that I have, and 4 main albums maybe, and this one kind of gets tossed to the wayside, which seems to be the same way for this one. Ognjen Prichaboyenye. I think I've heard this once. It's just mostly I bought it and it's sat on the shelf for a while. I'll revisit it because I like the newer Graveland a lot that I have heard. I like when they get really, really, really epic. And this one, Svit Stalovich Ostrovyu. I'm trying again. This looks like some dude's fighting this great apocalyptic beast of sorts. I'm not particularly certain. But yeah, I accidentally got 2 copies of this one when I ordered this package, so I don't know what the deal was with that, and I'm pretty sure I gave it away to somebody, so that's cool. All right, these last are from one Swedish band. This is Grift with Bodit. Not particularly certain how to pronounce that right. I'm gonna open this one because I always love the aesthetic of Grift CDs. Really pretty illustration, really nice looking digipack. This is some post-rocky, weird, folky-ish black metal from 2020. Now that I'm seeing the dates, these are definitely out of order, but it happens. This is from 2013. This is Grift with Freya Elegier. I don't know, but classic Nordvist stuff. Pretty stuff, really sorrowful, really pained, and it makes it kind of hard to listen to sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. And then this record is from 2015, Senior. I don't particularly remember where I came in with Grift at, but I've liked everything I've ever heard and plan on picking up more. Really like that disc tray art. I really like his like pencil drawing style. It fits really well with the somber atmosphere of his music. So I'm gonna call it at that, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be back on Friday with maybe L through N. I think it's gonna stop getting so ridiculous size wise, I sure hope. But yeah, 22 minutes is good enough, so I'll catch y'all later. Keep it greasy.